What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In the previous video, we went to the Southern Face Shrine and got the key. That way we can unlock the way to the Northern Face Shrine, because guess what? This is the next dungeon in the game, level 6. In this dungeon, oh man, it's kind of confusing. So first things first, we got some new enemies. These are Wizrobes. By the way, if you did not get the boomerang before coming here, I would highly advise doing so, because trust me, it is going to be like your MVP weapon for this dungeon, and pretty much, I guess, for the rest of the game. Like, the boomerang is so incredibly useful, as I was saying before. But, yeah, there's a couple of different ways that you can deal with Wizrobes, but my favorite way, and probably the easiest way, is just to stun them with the boomerang, and then use your bombs to kill them. I believe you can also use arrows, but it takes more arrows than bombs to kill them, which is why I prefer to use the bombs. Also, I should mention, one, interesting thing about the Wizrobes in Link's Awakening is that they will always disappear and reappear in the same location, unless you do something to sort of displace them, like hit them with your sword, or something like that. So, you don't have to worry about them, going all over the place. They're always going to reappear in the same exact spot. So use that to your advantage, position yourself accordingly, and then you can use the boomerang or bombs or whatever to get them when they do reappear. So this room we're going to be coming back to a bunch. That's kind of like a theme, I guess, with this dungeon, is sort of backtracking. It can be a little bit annoying and kind of confusing, but I'm going to do my best to go through the most efficient route through this dungeon and try and make it as easy as possible if you're following this as a guide. But just know that there are going to be some areas later on where we jump around a little bit, so I'll do my best to sort of show you guys where we're going, that way you don't get lost. But right now we're just following the obvious pathway through this dungeon. However, later on it gets far more complex and confusing, especially once you have to worry about what position these switches are in. Also, I should mention that right now you want the red switch to be activated. So the red blocks, you want those ones to be raised, because once you come out of here, yeah, if you had the blue blocks raised, you'd be basically stuck and you have to go all the way back to put them back down. So just try and keep a mental note of where I leave the switches checked, because like I said, I'm gonna try and go through here as efficiently as possible. So I'm keeping mental track for myself of when I need to activate or deactivate certain switches. But if for whatever reason I forget to mention it, just try and remember what I do and copy that. Anyways, inside this chest, we're gonna have ourselves the powerful bracelet. So with this, we feel like we could lift an elephant, and conveniently enough, there's some elephant statues here. So let's lift those out of our way, and guess what? This is gonna take us right back into this room. Yeah, see, now it gets a little confusing. Alright, so I think I do want to press this down again, so let's do that, make sure it blows up, then go over to the next room. And yeah, I do, because there is a switch underneath this pot that we need to activate. So, man, so many things to just keep track of in this dungeon. I promise you, I will probably make a mistake at some point or another, just because even though I do have notes and I try my best to memorize exactly where I need to go and what I have to do in these dungeons, my memory can sometimes fail me. You guys know that I'm not perfect when it comes to that. But oh well. And dang it, I'm gonna have to activate the switch. I really didn't want to, because the blocks are already in the position I needed them to be in, so now I'm just gonna have to reset it again later on. But I really don't think I could have killed this guy easily any other way. And oh right, I forgot about this chest. This is actually an important chest too, so kind of a good thing that I had to reset that switch, because inside this chest is the dungeon map. And normally I don't use the dungeon map too much, but it is very useful here. Also, by the way, yeah, the reason you wanted the blue blocks down is because you need a pot in order to break open that doorway. So obviously if the blue block was up, we would not be able to get these pots, and we'd kind of just be stuck here, since the pathway to the right, yeah, you can go in here and get a chest, but it's kind of a dead end after that. Inside that chest, though, is the stone beak, so now we can activate all those weird bird statues that we see inside this dungeon. And actually, a couple of them do have pretty good hints, so I might show those off once we sort of get to that area. For now, let's just keep going down the only path that we can go down, open up this chest, and bam, the compass, just like that. So we already got the map, the compass, the dungeon item, and the stone beak. we are pretty good right now, not gonna lie. And yes, you're gonna want to make sure the switch is set to blue now, so keep that in mind. For now, though, we're sort of going to take a little bit of a tour of the dungeon. You got a preview of some extra rooms, but the reason why you wanted to come in here is because, well, as the compass just told us, there is a key in this room, and how you get that? Well, it's pretty simple. Just kill the wizards. You can leave the anti-fairy. You don't need to kill it. Oh, I should mention, actually, the boomerang can kill anti-fairies and turn them into real fairies, so that's pretty useful. However, yeah, I can't pick up the small key for whatever reason. I'm actually not sure why they didn't add that into the remake, because it would have made sense for them to do that. Like, the boomerang in every other Zelda game is allowed to pick up items like the small key, but for whatever reason, they just kept it the same as like how it was in the Game Boy version. I mean, I'm not really complaining, but it would have been like a nice little addition to change. Not a big deal, though. Alright, so before we go to the north, because we can actually use these stone elephants to go up north, I think... Oh, never mind. I thought we could actually lift those up and get to a new area. I suppose I was mistaken. Never mind, then. In that case, let's grab one of these elephants, break down that wall, and... Oh, I hate these things. A lot of people hate these stupid, like, chess piece lock doors. So, I'll get to that in a minute. For now, let's actually head outside the dungeon. This kind of reminds me of like a Link to the Past, how you can leave the third dungeon in that game for like a little bit. But yeah, out here, you can get yourself a seashell. Not really that important for us since like we've already gotten like the best upgrade, but I figured I would point that out anyways. Alright, so real quick, let's get rid of that guy and deal with these things. So what you have to do here is like throw them around and get them to land in those spots, and it can take a really long time considering they just bounce around. So to save you guys the struggle, I'm just going to cut, and I'll see you guys once I get them in the correct location. Alright, finally, there we go. That took a lot longer than it should have. I sort of figured out that like they kind of operate how actual rooks do in chess. So if you follow the pattern, like the L pattern that a rook takes when you actually play chess, you can kind of stand in where you might think the correct location is. As long as it's like an L pattern, it might, you know, bounce back to where the hole is. It doesn't work all the time, but it gave me like a higher, I guess, % chance that it landed in the right spot. And dang it, I need to put the freaking block down again. I knew I was gonna forget at some point to change this. Thankfully, I can just use my bow to remedy that real quick, and we'll be on our way. Oh man. Alright, so unless I've forgotten something incredibly important, I think we're okay to make our way to the right side of the dungeon now. If you actually look at the map, this dungeon sort of split into two halves. Like, obviously, it looks like a face since that's kind of like the thing for this game. But, there's a left side of the face, which we just kind of did. Then there's a right side of the face. And then there's sort of a middle section of the face where that's like the end of the dungeon with the boss and all that junk. So we're not really going to get there just yet. Also, before we go to the right side, I am so glad that I just remembered this. Make sure the red switch is up. Trust me, that will save you so much time. I almost forgot about that. That was the one thing that I did not want to forget. Alright, now we should be set. And you could pick up those statues, but just leave them there because I can actually stop the blade traps from hitting you. Now this room is very, very difficult. All you're going to want to do, stand in this corner, hold up your shield, wait for these tiles to go away. Like, this has been in so many other 2D Zelda games. If you've played any of them, you know the drill. Tiles are not hard to deal with. You can slash your sword or use your shield. Shield is just a whole lot easier. So there is a locked door up there. However, we don't want to go there just yet. I know I have the key for it, but we're going to relax and just sort of do some other things. I guess using the boomerang twice to actually kill the wizards is a little bit better than using bombs, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I've always just like used bombs because I thought it was better, but maybe I should just start using the boomerang now. It seems to work really, really well. Anyways, let's head down to the south real quick, because as you guys saw, there was a chest up on that ledge, and we actually do want to get it. And here's why you wanted the red switch up. Hop on top of the crystals to move forward. Yeah, for whatever reason, the stone owl calls these crystals, but they're like just normal switches. You wanted the red ones up just so you could jump across them and reach this upper area, because this chest contains something very important. Oh, that is not actually what I thought that was. Never mind. So this is secret medicine. That's basically what Crazy Tracy puts on you to make it so when you die, you recover your hearts. Since we already have that applied, we put that back in our chest. Wow, I actually thought that was the Nightmare's Key. My bad, guys. I guess... Oh, you know what? No, the Nightmare's Key is a little bit later on in this dungeon. So I guess if you want, like, a free life insurance policy, you can hit up that chest. Otherwise, that's where it is. We can't really do much with it right now, so unfortunately, that chest is going to stay closed. Here is another small key, another very important small key, and that's where the Nightmare's Key is actually located, so we're gonna have to come back around to grab that. Oh, man. I think I actually got it confused with, the other dungeon where, like, the Nightmare's Key was on top of a top area. But, like, you had to use the Pegasus boost to jump across to get it. We already finished that dungeon, like, a long time ago, so I'm not sure how I got that confused, but I guess I did. Anyways, yeah, what do we do in this room? I wonder. Literally just a blank room with a cracked wall. So, not a whole lot you can do besides bomb that wall. It's actually kind of funny, too, because, oh, I hate this freaking guy. I forget what his official name is, but, I know it's something stupid. Basically, he takes this ball and he throws it at you. So, what do you have to do? Well, you need to basically catch the ball before he does and throw it back at him. It's a very easy fight, especially since, like, once you get the ball, you can pretty much maintain control of it, and he can really do nothing to stop you. So, see you later, bud. Get out of here. As I was saying, though, originally on Link's Awakening, that crack wasn't there, so that blank room was a lot more cryptic than it was on the remake. Alright, so in here, yeah, if you lift up that statue just randomly, it causes that staircase to appear. Another one of those weird cryptic things. Also, this room is a loop. If you try to go north, yeah, it sort of just resets itself. Not really sure why they did that, but I figured I would show it off just so no one, like, goes north and gets confused. The right path is down this staircase. And this is where things start to get a little bit confusing in this dungeon, so just try and pay attention as to where you're going. This passageway will be used again. Just keep that in mind. For right now, though, we're actually going to have to deal with this room. I forgot. There's more tiles in here and another, like, small key that we need to get. So let's just deal with this now while we're here, and then we'll deal with the rest of this dungeon. To my south is actually where the boss is going to be once we actually get the Nightmare Key. But for now, we just need to get the small key and head up north. That way we can do the rest of the dungeon, because there's still quite a bit to go, unfortunately. Like, I wish I could say we were almost done, but yeah, we're not quite there just yet. This dungeon does kind of go on for a long time. But don't worry, we are making progress. Now, you might actually recognize this room. We actually saw it previously as we were sort of taking a tour of the dungeon. But, yeah, we got more of these stupid chess pieces. I'm going to try my strat that I was talking about before. And, oh, wow, look at that. All right. So this does seem to work. Because, like, I tried this before, and it worked, I don't know, I would say, like, 60% of the time in that last room. But there we just had, like, 100% success rate. So there might be some other trick to it, but that does seem to work for the most part. So we'll try it out the next time we see that puzzle. Anyways, we got some Pols voices here. Now, here's a trick to deal with most of these guys. If you grab your ocarina, I think you can play like any song, but I guess we can just play the Battle of the Windfish. But playing that will just kill them instantly. That's sort of a throwback to the original Legend of Zelda, because on the Japanese version of that game, how you would deal with Pols voices was actually like speaking into or screaming into the microphone on the second controller, since the Japanese version of the NES, the Famicom, had the controllers attached to the console, so like every console came with a controller, or two of them rather. You defeat Pols voices by just speaking into the microphone. Since that didn't happen on the NES, or the North American NES, yeah, you sort of had to like use the flute to get rid of them. Anyways, that being said, hit that switch, open up this chest, get yourself a golden rupee. I just realized there was kind of no reason for us to come in here since, yeah, it's only rupees. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna solve this puzzle and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Okay, so turns out, my strat does work, but there's also like a second layer. You need to sort of be standing in the correct location. Like, the white one went in first try, but then the black one I had to move on top. Where is that located? Why can I not grab that? Because, like, the shadow's on the ground, so I'm not sure why I couldn't just, you know, jump to grab that, but whatever. As I was saying, yeah, I had to, like, move to the upper layer. Really, I gotta fight these guys again? I forgot they were here. Man, I do not want to do this. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna cut until I defeat these guys because you've seen me fight them like 3 times already, so I'll just see you guys in a second. And there we go, finally. Don't worry about like that pathway to the right. There is literally nothing up there, so we do not need to head up there. Now, let's grab our hook shot, go across here, and this area might look a little bit familiar, and it should because, yeah, we've sort of been here before, and this is where we're going to get the nightmare key. But first things first, let's check out this stone bird. To open a treasure chest, use the pots around it. Yeah, this is, like the only time you need to throw something at a chest to open it up. Otherwise, you cannot open up that chest. But there you go. You got yourself the nightmare key just like that. And make sure you hit that crystal switch before you leave. Alright, so now that we got the boss key, we are pretty much good to go in this dungeon. However, I kind of forgot exactly where we need to go, so I might need to check my map in a second. I know, this is the part where I get confused like all the time, so, give me 1 second to figure out exactly where I need to go. Alright, so it turns out you actually want to go back to the room that's like directly north of where the mini-boss was. You know, that leads into this underground layer. I think I actually mentioned this before, too, that we were going to have to come back here. And sure enough, I actually forgot that we needed to come back here. So, yeah, this is where we need to be. And instead of going north, we go south. And this will take us to where the Nightmare's door is. I'm almost, like, positive that I brought that up before. But whatever, not a big deal. So yeah, in this room, there's a bunch of like these weird little slime creatures. You gotta get them all to spawn, kill them all, or get them sucked into the void, and that will unlock the door. So now, we're good to go, baby. The Nightmare's key is basically just ahead of us. That one Wizrobe is now standing in our way. And I totally did those button combinations backwards. So, kill the Wizrobe, push this block, avoid that freaking BMO, and we're good to go, baby. Oh, actually, real quick, so yeah, you can get a ton of, like, fairies in this room, not only from just, like, killing those weird energy creatures, but if you, use your magic powder on these 2 lanterns, I'm pretty sure, oh, I thought a fairy spawned if you did that. I guess not. I'm not sure why I thought a fairy spawned, but whatever, let's just go and take on the boss then. Hey, dummy, need a hint? My weak point is... Whoops, there I go talking too much again. So this is Facade. So Facade is a pretty easy boss fight, actually. There's really not a whole lot going on here. First things first, just like before, stand in a corner, hold up your shield, and you'll be fine from the tiles. Make sure you're facing at an angle. That was my problem, that's why I took some damage there, but... other than that, you should be fine. There's really not a whole lot you can do in like this first section except like just wait out the attacks. Once that threat is gone, all you gotta do, oh yeah, I forgot he throws the pots at you too. But after all of those are done, all you have to do is basically just place bombs where he appears. He's gonna try and like cause holes in the floor to appear around you to try and make you fall. But they're pretty easy to avoid, and really, that's all I have to say about this fight. Just make sure you have bombs coming into it, obviously, since that's the important part. But, other than that, just take him out with bomb. Oh, sometimes he does move around. When he does that, you can actually pick up your bomb and just throw it at him. But yeah, that's all there really is to this fight. I sort of dragged down my explanation as long as I possibly can, so we're just gonna go do it now, and hopefully 1 or 2 more bombs, and it'll be done. I'm not really sure how many hits we've done. Finally, there we go. Okay, listen up. If the windfish wakes up, everything on this island will be gone forever. And I do mean everything. What if I told you, I don't trust you, weird floor face? My mama told me never to trust a floor face. Alright, let's grab this heart container and finish this dungeon up. Oh man, I am so glad to be done with this one because, like I said, this is probably my least favorite dungeon of the game. So we got the coral triangle and bing, bang, boom. We're out of here. Mountain. Something calls from the mountains. Hoot. The many monsters of this island fear that the windfish is about to awaken. The monster's power is real. They may conquer the island and destroy their foes. That day may come soon. Now go to the mountain tower. Fly like a bird. Hoot hoot. Fly like a bird, eh? Alright, we'll heed the advice of our owl friend in the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.